Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Natalia, and I work at the Community Food Bank, and I serve with Pima County Interfaith.
And hi, I'm Nancy Smith. I'm also a leader in Pima County Interfaith, and I worship at St. Pius X Catholic Community in Tucson.
Now, you may be wondering, who is Pima County Interfaith? We are everyday citizens from churches, synagogues, nonprofits, small businesses, and the like, who intentionally work across lines of religious beliefs, political philosophies, ethnicities, and economic levels. We develop both institutional and community leaders to address some of the most critical issues impacting our community. Today, we're going to talk about how to get unemployment insurance. Let's begin.
So recently, Congress passed the CARES Act, and under the CARES Act, people can get up to 39 weeks of benefits. Under normal circumstances, the maximum number of weeks you can get benefits in the state of Arizona is 26 weeks. So this adds an additional 13 weeks. If you're a person who has already used up your regular unemployment benefits, you can apply for something called Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or PA. And anyone who's been laid off, furloughed, fired due to the pandemic qualifies for this aid. Please be aware, states are allowed to put further restrictions on who get employment benefits, and Arizona is doing so. There are some earning employment thresholds that must be met to qualify for unemployment benefits at the state level. These limits are changing all the time, so please go to the website to help you understand those limits and thresholds when applying. The website's right there on screen. You qualify for unemployment either at full-time or part-time rates. Under normal times, independent contractors don't qualify for Arizona unemployment benefits, but with the pandemic, they do, and they should apply for that PUA, or Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. As of the date of this video, when we're recording it, which is April 21st, I just want to alert those of you who fall into this PUA category, so your Uber drivers, your gig workers, your consultants, people like that, you should go ahead and apply for Arizona unemployment, but you're probably going to get a letter back from the state saying that you don't qualify for unemployment. The reason for this is the state hasn't finalized all the rules for PUA. It doesn't mean you won't get benefits, it just means it might take a little bit. So don't panic. When they get the rules out, they're going to reevaluate the people who qualified under PUA but were rejected under regular unemployment. Another thing you need to be aware of if you fall into this category, you should continue to log in and refresh your application weekly, as everyone is required to do, so that when your application is processed, you'll get your retroactive payments.
So you're going to need to know what you need to apply, and these are really, really critical. You're going to need your employer information for the last 18 months, the name of your employer, their phone number, the address, the last day that you worked at your former employer, and the amount earned on your last paycheck before deductions. Now, additionally, you may also need these pieces of information. Side note, if you are unemployed due to COVID-19, you don't need to be looking for work to get unemployment. If the unemployment insurance form asks where you have looked for work, fill in the words COVID-19. Now, please make sure you have all applicable and required information on hand before you begin the online process. If you have to look for information, your session may time out and you're going to have to start over. Okay, so here are some things that you're going to need, just to reiterate: the name and the number of your local union hall, an alien registration number, copy number 4 of Department of Defense Form 214 if you have been released from the military in the last 18 months, the start date and dollar amount of any pension excluding Social Security, and if employed in the federal civilian service in the last 18 months, you will need SF8 or SF50. Now, federal assistance has been added to state unemployment compensation and began the week after Easter.
So after you have turned in your application, in about a week, you will receive some paperwork, of course. It's the government, right? One of those things is a certificate of understanding, which you have to sign and return. You may get a questionnaire if they determine information you did, and you're required to file that weekly claim that I mentioned just a minute ago at the website that you see on the screen. In Arizona, you may receive up to $240 in Arizona unemployment insurance, as well as the $600 per week from the federal government. You shouldn't have to fill out any more forms to get the federal money, but it may not arrive as soon as the state money. And you're going to get your payment on a debit card. I'd like to share a brief story with you about how this worked for someone that I know. So my oldest son worked in the restaurant industry and was laid off as March 17th. The following week, he applied for unemployment. Now, he didn't have to wait that week, but he did. And he got online and didn't have a whole lot of trouble getting through the online process. He didn't get kicked out, although many of his friends had to try over and over again because the website was overwhelmed because of the number of people. Then he got this paperwork that you see on the screen, and he signed it, filled it out, sent it back, and waited and waited. And then he decided, well, you know what? I need to call. So he got up early one morning. It took him 12 phone calls to get into the queue for the phone to be answered. So 12 times. And in reality, it turns out that's really not that bad. And then he was in the queue for about a half an hour. When the worker came on the line to help him, she told him that the reason he hadn't heard anything on the paperwork is because all of the employees at Arizona DES who were processing paperwork had been put on the phones. They've gone from like 20 people on the phones to 150 people on the phones trying to get the paperwork through. So Eric simply asked, well, can you help me with the paperwork now? And sure enough, she was very willing and able to do that. A couple of days later, he got a debit card. It didn't have anything on it, but that was a Thursday or a Friday. The following Monday, he had the 2 weeks of unemployment insurance from the state that he was owed. And then about a week later, as if by magic, his federal benefits started arriving as well. That's $600 a week. The lesson is that the system does work, but it can take a while. While new workers have been added to the DES Phone Service Center, the number of people applying for help is massive in the state. Arizona expects a minimum of 380,000 people to be unemployed because of the virus. And in fact, in the paper this morning, they said there's 421,000 right now who have applied for unemployment insurance. Please be kind to those people who are trying to help you. They have a massive job right now, and they're working in an old computer system. It isn't easy for them, just like it isn't easy for you. The phone lines are full. The website may crash. The lesson is keep trying. And as Yoda would say to us, patience you must have. Thank you for your time today. We hope that this helped. If you have stories that you'd like to share about how COVID-19 has affected you and your family, or your experience with applying for and receiving unemployment insurance, please go to our website at pimacountyinterfaith.org, follow the cues, and let us know how things are going for you. We care, and we'd really like to know. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.